It is important to note that all of God's creations, including Lucifer, who would later become Satan, were perfect. So, how did Satan's initial desire for wickedness come from? If God is perfect, then how did sin enter our world? Like all angels, Satan was created by God through the ministry of his Son Jesus Christ. Today, we will contemplate these questions. How did imperfection and evil come to be? How did humans and even certain angels get corrupted? And how did Satan become wicked? Astounding as it may seem, Satan's descent from grace is explained by the prophet Isaiah. "You have fallen from heaven, O morning star, son of the dawn, you have been cast down to the earth. You once laid low the nations. In your heart you said, I will ascend to heaven, I will raise my throne above the stars of God, I will sit on the mount of assembly on the utmost heights of Mount Zion, I will ascend above the clouds, I will make myself like the Most High. But now you have been cast down to the realm of the dead, into the depths of the pit." According to Ezekiel, Satan was once adorned with precious stones in Eden, the garden of God. However, he fell into an even more shocking state of imperfection. Turquoise with diamonds, onyx, jasper, sapphire, emerald, and gold carbuncle. Your settings and mountings were made of gold. On the day you were created, they were prepared. You were an anointed cherubim as a guardian, and I placed you. You were on the holy mountain of God. You walked among the fiery stones. You were blameless in your ways from the day you were created till iniquity proved found in you. Through your widespread trade you were filled with violence, and you sinned, so I cast you as a profane thing from the mountain of God, and expelled you, O guardian cherub, from among the fiery stones. When Satan rebelled against God, he not only brought God's wrath upon himself, but also convinced a portion of the angels to join him against God. Some estimates suggest that about 1/3 of the angels followed Satan in his rebellion. At this point, Satan and his angels truly became evil and opposed to God, his divine plan, and the human beings he created. The word perfection captures the exceptional, personal and moral attributes of Satan in his creation. He was not only full of wisdom, but also radiated stunning beauty. He possessed the seal of excellence, being perfect in beauty and blameless in his ways from the day of his creation. Both Isaiah and Ezekiel testify that he held the highest position among all created beings in the universe. It is also clear that he had a special and close relationship with God. He resided on God's holy mountain, which symbolizes the place of God's visible glory. However, without explicitly explaining how it happened, the account reveals that iniquity was found in this supposedly perfect angel. How did this happen? An important clue can be found in Ezekiel 28 verse 17, which says, "You grew proud because of your beauty, and your fame corrupted your wisdom. So I cast you to the ground as a warning to other kings." This illustrates how Satan's pride and self-centeredness led to his downfall, as he became preoccupied with his own beauty rather than focusing on God's glory. The narrative in Luke 10 verse 18 emphasizes the danger of being prideful and self-absorbed. In order to grasp his meaning, let's look at the setting of this revelation. When the 70 disciples came back from preaching and preparing the way to Jerusalem, they were probably filled with pride and joy. They reported to Jesus, "Lord, even the demons submit to us in your name." That's when Jesus warned them against pride, saying, "I saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning." Jesus was warning them not to get too proud, suggesting that their joy in driving demons out of their lives shouldn't cause them to be arrogant. Like Lucifer, whose haughtiness led to his downfall and banishment from heaven, the disciples should exercise caution to avoid falling prey to pride in their ministry. Because of his pride, Lucifer ascended to a high position, but his followers should take a page out of his book and keep their heads down in the ministry. Despite his perfect creation, Satan brought evil into the world when he developed pride and arrogance, turning something beautiful and perfect into sin and imperfection. After his original sin, God dethroned him and cast him from his privileged position on the holy mountain. As mentioned in Matthew 25 verse 41, his punishment is eternal fire. Here are some of the things that Satan considered and attempted against God due to his pride. Even though he was already in God's presence, Satan still wanted to live there. He said, "I will ascend to heaven," signifying his ambition to rule over everything. The stars represent angels and Satan's desire to be more powerful than other celestial beings. He also said, "I will be like the Most High." This declaration embodies the zenith of his egotism and rebellion, revealing his daring desire to be on par with God as a result of his hubris and self-centeredness. A dramatic transformation occurred in Satan's character as he went from flawless to flawed. The purity he had previously received from his Maker had been eroded by corruption. Even though the Bible doesn't tell us when exactly Satan and his angels fell from heaven, we can figure it out by looking at when the heavens and earth were created. Whether it was before or after humanity was created is unclear, but it's evident that Satan's fall happened before Genesis 3, where the temptation of Adam and Eve is mentioned. There was no going back for the angels once Satan tempted them to join his rebellion, but their moral decline was irreversible, and they were doomed to live in sin and face destruction. Remember that the Bible records the origin and existence of evil, but it also portrays God as completely just and perfect in all his ways. He views sin as extremely wicked and worthy of judgment. In Revelation 12 verse 4, a third of the stars of heaven, representing the angels, were swept away by the dragon Satan in his attempt to thwart God's plans. According to James 1 verse 13, God does not encourage or support sin. When faced with temptation, it is important not to attribute it to God, as he is immune to bad temptations and does not tempt anybody personally. Our own frailties are the source of temptation, not God. While God is immune to temptation, Satan's pride and vanity led to his banishment from God's presence. Even now, we can learn from Satan's fall from grace by avoiding the temptations that led to his downfall and by relying on the empowering work of the Holy Spirit to help us avoid falling into Satan's deadly trap.